Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another Legacy Cube draft. Now, today, I'm kind of thinking about what I'm going to be taking here. We could take birds. We could actually take Omnath. There's tons of fetch lands, and the duels going pretty late in this format. So I'm thinking actually taking Omnath and just going like 5-color good stuff might actually be a legit strategy. If that's the case, it's probably better to take birds and hope to wheel Omnath, because that gives us a couple of different things. We can just pick fixing and stay open and see if we can wheel it, because there's not a lot of decks that actually want Omnath. Alternatively, we can take Exhume, which is an excellent reanimation spell. We can go for another chance at Reanimator. They're both very different. I think I take Exhume, because the Reanimator deck is by far the best deck in this format, I think. Just like... I've been trying to read up on Legacy Cube because it's actually the cube I know the least about. Okay, so there's Buried Alive, which does fit in the Reanimator deck and basically nothing else. There's also Time Warp, and the Reanimator deck tends to be Dimir. There's no discard outlets. There's Rampant Growth. There's a Glacial Fortress, a Shambling Vent. I think I take Buried Alive. I don't like this card particularly, but it does fit in the Reanimator deck. And keeps us in mono black at the moment. Jeez! I hope that that's okay. Oh gosh. That was the sound of my other webcam smashing. I don't think I damaged the lens. Yep, still works. We're good. Alright. Collective Brutality is definitely the Reanimator. Definitely the Reanimator card to take. Emrakul is a decent, large creature to play, but it is by no means necessary. And as far as Reanimator targets go, this one's actually sort of fragile. Yeah, we'll take Brutality. Brutality is just good, like, all around. Alright. So Brazen Borrower is an excellent spell / creature. And I think I'm going to take Pack Rat, though. Pack Rat is both a discard outlet and a card that can win the game by itself. So Pack Rat it is. Alright. Dread Return. Pretty decent reanimation spell. Still not seeing any huge creatures to take yet. We could take Bloodstained Mire, which can help with Splash. We could take Miscalc to help protect our plan, but I think we just take the Dread Return. Miscalc is good, but you want as many hardcore, strictly Reanimator cards as you can get. Okay, there's a Bayou, a Bitter Blossom, and a Hymn to Turok. Bitter Blossom synergizes with Dread Return. Hymn to Turok is just good in general. Also, if we get like Dark Ritual, Hymn to Turok potentially is very strong. Sundering Titan is a decent Reanimator target, but there should, in theory, be other Reanimator targets. I think I take him. Yeah, I'm going to take him to Turok. Alright, in this pack we've got Maul, there's a Taiga, a Sanctum, Gutterbones, Terastodon. Everybody's favorite reanimation elephant. Terastodon it is. Iona! Good to see ya. Yeah, we'd be missing out on Heartless Act, but we're taking Iona. Dismember, there's also Council's Judgment, Vindicate, Nighthawk, Scavenger. Scavenger's good, but I think we take Dismember. It's going to be important to have some removal spells, because the last time we tried to play Reanimator, we got completely thrashed by... what's it called? Containment Priest. Basalt Monolith, I don't think we're actually going to be like casting any of our huge creatures, so it's probably better for us to take something like Rampant Growth on the off chance we're playing green and want fixing. Emrakul, the Promised End, came all the way around. I could take Mazavith to help us stay alive, but we'll take Emrakul. We currently have 2 decent reanimation spells. I would like to get actual Reanimate and Animate Dead, maybe Recurring Nightmare. We passed up on Bitter Blossom, so Recurring Nightmare is not as good, but it's still pretty good. I don't think we'd be reanimating Sigarda. I think I'll take Cord, but probably not playing it. Dread Wanderer. Ravages of War is kind of funny, but I think we take Dread Wanderer. We'll take Bayou. It's basically free fixing, potentially, and Ranger Captain in the side. Alright, so in this pack, I don't think we can play Bolus's Citadel. It's not likely we'll be paying 13 life for an Emrakul, I imagine. We could take Explore, we could take Gilded Goose. Like, having the Green Dorks is not bad. Having Gravecrawler is not bad either, because we do have Dread Return. Mutavault's in general okay. Walking Ballista is just kind of fine all around. I think I want to take Languish, because I think our toughest matchup is either going to be really hard control or very fast aggro. And Languish helps at least against the aggro. Plus, it kills a lot of our opponent's stuff without killing any of our threats. If I blow up 3 lands with Terastodon, I could Languish and get rid of all the tokens. It just seems good to me. Generally, like, since the Reanimator deck is Dimir, I could take, like, Brainstorm or something, but we'll take Languish. Scarab God is both a threat and a reanimation spell. Extinction Event is a board wipe. Chromatic Lantern is fixing and ramp. Gatekeeper of Malakir is not really the Reanimator card. Golos, if I had gone the 5-color route, I would have taken Golos here, hands down. Magister of Worth. Magister of Worth is a pretty good target to reanimate, but Scarab God is just in general better, I think, in the average case. Okay, this is not a Dark Confidant deck. That kind of sounds like suicide. Thragtusk wouldn't be bad, but it's not great. I could take Gilded Lotus and then maybe stand a chance of actually casting a couple of my medium threats. But I kind of like Treasure Map just a little bit more. I think Treasure Map makes the most sense here. Coalition Relic, Makeshift Mannequin, and Gonti. Let's see, I have Exhume and Dread Return. Makeshift Mannequin. Yeah, we'll take Makeshift Mannequin. This probably wheels, but... Actually, do we take Coalition Relic? I think because we took Scarab God, we take Coalition Relic and try and wheel Makeshift Mannequin. I think this card is the least likely card to get picked, so... I like Dark Ritual. This is a good Dark Ritual deck. Like, we could Dark Ritual Hymn to Turok. We could Dark Ritual... You know, if we get Entomb, we could Dark Ritual Entomb Exhume. Like, Dark Ritual really helps this deck. Agadeem's Awakening, despite being a reanimation spell, is not really a reanimation spell for the Reanimator deck. Kozilek is quite good, but we could only reanimate him with Makeshift Mannequin, which we don't have yet. I think we take either Vraska Relic Seeker, or we take Battle Ball. I'm gonna go with Battle Ball, I think. I like Dark Slick Shores. I like Wasteland. Wasteland seemed to punish a lot of mana bases, but I think I gotta take Dark Slick Shores because I don't have much fixing for the Scarab God at all, and Dark Slick Shores is pretty free. Underground Sea, City of Brass, and Liliana the Last Hope. Liliana can self-mill, take out dorks. We could turn 1 Dark Ritual into Liliana. I have no fetch lands, so I don't need Underground Sea, and I don't even have to play the Scarab God if I don't want to. I think I'm going to take Liliana. Yeah, I'm going to take Liliana. I'm passing up, like, 2 good fixing options, though. I don't think this is a Mutavault deck. Although, like, maybe Mutavault helps enable Flashback Dread Return or something. I could take Gravecrawler. I'm probably not playing Dread Wanderer or Gravecrawler. I could, but maybe I just take Explore? I'll take Explore. I'm not really a fan of playing those other cards in this deck that I'm trying to build. Okay, I will take Magister of Worth as another reanimation target. It's just a good board wipe, potentially. Which places it above the Extinction Event in my mind. It's also not impossible for us to cast. I guess maybe Sweltering Suns as a sideboard card. Den Protector is not that great. Dark Confidant is literal suicide. Makeshift Mannequin came all the way around. That's great. Maybe I take Field of Ruin. Just in case I come up against... I was going to say, Tolarian Academy's not in this. Plow Under in the side. Ancient Grudge, decent sideboard card. I think I need a couple more discard outlets. Like, I have Collective Brutality, I have Pack Rat. If I could get Liliana the Veil, that would be pretty good. There's Entomb. We have Entomb Exhume Dark Ritual. That's pretty good. I'm missing out on anything real important by taking this. I guess Hornet Queen, but that'll probably come around. We gotta take Entomb. Dark Ritual, Entomb Exhume, the dream. That's our Tron. Okay, Living Death. That's kind of fun. Otherwise, there's Champion of Wits, which can help us get stuff into the grave, but we're not really playing blue that much. I guess the question is Champion of Wits or Una's Prowler better? And I think Una's Prowler is technically better, but Champion of Wits fits in more decks. I only have Dark Slick Shores, potentially Treasure Map, and Coalition Relic to cast Champion of Wits, though. So I think I take Una's Prowler and kind of hope Living Death wheels. On Burial Rites, there's Merfolk Looter. Let's see, how many reanimation spells do I have now? 1, 2, 3... Alright, I better take on Burial Rites. Yeah, I only have Makeshift Mannequin, Dread Return, Exhume. Yeah, we'll take on Burial Rites. Okay, there's Ravenous Chupacabra, which is never a bad card to have in a black deck. Baleful Strix is going to be kind of hard for us to cast. I could take Cold Steel Heart as fixing, potentially ramp. I think I'm a little bit better off taking this than like Phyrexian Arena. Phyrexian Arena is just better in like a mono black. There's Animate Dead. Yes! Love me some Animate Dead. Now we have turn 1, Dark Ritual, Entomb, and Animate Dead or Exhume. That makes the combo this much more consistent. Let's see. No fixing. Gifts ungiven, we do have Unburial Rites. We have almost no way to flashback Unburial Rites, though. Toxic Deluge is great. It's just good removal. It's going to be very nice against aggressive decks, so I think I'm going to take Toxic Deluge, even if it's like a sideboard type deal. Inquisition actually seems pretty good. Windswept Heath can fetch Bayou, but we're probably not even playing Bayou at this point. So I'll take Inquisition. Inquisition is nice. Having Inquisition, Thoughtseize, or Duress in this format, especially in the Reanimator deck, like, even if you're not on the super fast reanimation plan, just the ability to like hand check your opponent and gimp their hand is fantastic. Rankle is technically a discard outlet as well as a bit of attrition potentially as a game plan. We could Dark Ritual them out quick and just seems good in general. Mind Shatter I don't particularly like, and Doomblade is okay. I'll take Rankle. It is unlikely I'm playing a lot of blue, so I probably take Skyclave Shade, but I don't like it. I'm gonna have to cut cards as is. I'll put Daze in the sideboard. Living Death, good to see ya. Always happy to pick up a few more reanimation spells. We have, like, 2 of the real big Reanimator targets, and some edge case ones. So I'm pretty happy with that. Crucible, we have no fetches to abuse. Tasigur, I guess we take Tasigur, but I'm probably not playing Tasigur. Phyrexian Arena or Chupacabra. I have a couple of removal spells. I think I take Arena. Kalitas seems fine. It can be sideboard versus aggro. Cavalier of Night can be sideboard versus aggro. And Ferocidon we're not playing. Okay, what this probably means is we are really, truly mono-black Reanimator. There is a little bit of upside to playing the Scarab God, but I don't think that's actually the plan. That means we're not playing Cold Steel Heart. Treasure Map and Coalition Relic are both good, but we don't actually need them. We have a lot of the cheap reanimation spells. We'll drop Dread Wanderer. We're not playing Dread Wanderer. Una's Prowler, Pack Rat are fine. Buried Alive is fine. Toxic Deluge, Dismember, Liliana. I think I'm going to cut Makeshift Mannequin. I need to be playing at least one basic Plains, which maybe means I'm playing Coalition Relic. Coalition Relic can by itself cast Terastodon and Magister of Worth. It also takes us from 3 to 4, or potentially up to 5. That could matter too. Like, I wouldn't Dark Ritual out of Coalition Relic, would I? What would it be better than? I guess I don't have to main deck Languish with Toxic Deluge. I can play like a Coalition Relic. And our curve is relatively low, actually. Alright, let's do this. Mono Black Reanimator wants me to add a green source? 2 white sources. We're not doing that. I'll put 1 Plains in the deck, just on the off chance we have to flashback on Burial Rites. But we're probably casting it out of hand the majority of the time. Yeah, I think this deck looks pretty sick. Let's go for it. Alright, we're on the play for round 1, and this hand is not keepable. It's close. We've got Exhume. We have a creature. We have no discard outlet, though. I think we can do better. Entomb, Toxic Deluge, Phyrexian Arena. Alright, I'm going to keep this. I'm going to put back Iona, and I think I'm going to put back Toxic Deluge. Start by playing a Swamp. Pass the turn. We're going to wait to Entomb for as long as possible, because we might Entomb for Unburial Rites. Opponent leads on Lumbering Falls. Okay. We draw Buried Alive. Play a Plains. Pass the turn. So we're probably casting Entomb for Unburial Rites, and then casting Buried Alive for our actual creature threats to reanimate. I guess we'll Entomb now. I'll put Iona... No. What was I saying? I need to put Unburial Rites in the grave. We untap, draw a Swamp, play a Swamp, Buried Alive. Plus, if we get Living Death, we just get all of these things, which would be so awesome. We put Emrakul, Iona, and I guess Terastodon in the grave. Pass the turn. If we draw a land, we can just Unburial Rites Iona named Green. Otherwise, we're casting Coalition Relic, and we have Phyrexian Arena as a backup plan. Okay, opponent Windswept Heath adds green. Cracks Windswept Heath, gets a forest, adds green, 5 mana, plays a Gilded Lotus, and then plays Nissa the Vastwood Seer. Gets a forest. Alright, we're definitely going to cast Unburial Rites on Iona if we draw land. There's a land. Unburial Rites, Iona. Hopefully they don't have Force or Daze. Name green. Pass the turn. But I can no longer cast green spells. They play a tropical island, which I guess if they have opposition, they'll probably still win. We draw a swamp. Play a swamp. Go to combat. Attack for 7. They go to 12. Play Coalition Relic. Play Phyrexian Arena. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a forest. Adds blue. Animates Lumbering Falls. They attack us for 8. We go to 10 and draw Una's Prowler. Play a swamp. Play Una's Prowler. Go to combat. Hit him for 7. We'll just chump whatever with the Una's Prowler. And the game is over. Nice. Good job, Entomb. Good job on Burial Rites. Versus our opponent's deck, I definitely want Languish. I don't think I want Kalitas or Cavalier, though. And what is our worst spell against the mono-green deck? It might be Dread Return. I think it's actually Dread Return. Try like this. Very tempting. But we can do better. This is technically better. I will keep this. I'll put back a Swamp. All we have to do is draw one of our reanimation threats, or an Entomb, or Buried Alive. Opponent starts on Forest, plays Avacyn's Pilgrim. We draw Dark Ritual, play a Swamp. Yeah, no reason to Dark Ritual out Pack Rat. I might Dark Ritual out Rankle. If we draw Entomb, it's just gonna be game over. Opponent plays Courser. We draw Phyrexian Arena. Now what do we do? Rankle is minimal value. We could force discards. I could discard a land. Phyrexian Arena I can just play next turn. I think I just play out a Pack Rat. Pass the turn. So opponent has an Elder Gargaroth on top of their deck. That's scary. They play a land. They have 4 mana. They can play Garruk. They play Steve. They could untap float mana, sack Steve for a land, and try and play a land off. No, they played a land already, didn't they? They played Nissa. They shuffle. Getting a forest. They attack for 2. We untap and draw a swamp. Play a swamp. I think I play Phyrexian Arena here. Pass the turn. We're going to be very dead very quick if I don't find something. Opponent sacks Steve to get a land. It's an island. They draw a Lotus Cobra. Turn Timber Symbiosis is scary. But without a way to actually draw it, we're fine for the moment. They play Cobra. They go to combat. They attack us for 5. We take 5 and go to 13. They play a Lumbering Falls. Gain a life. Add green. Untap lands. And pass. They have 1 card in hand. We draw a Swamp. Then we draw Exhume. So this doesn't have to be a creature card in our graveyard. Alright, I have an idea. Play a Swamp. Dark Ritual. Play Rankle. Go to combat. Attack our opponent. Each player discards a card. I don't think we make them sacrifice, because that doesn't do enough. So just make them discard. We discard a Swamp. They discard a Forest. That is not what I was hoping for. Alright, pass the turn. Opponent untaps, draws Turn Timber Symbiosis, and we're probably going to get spanked. They animate Lumbering Falls? Overrun. I totally forgot that was a thing Garruk could do. Alright, we're dead. Yep. Well, we just missed a thing to reanimate. That was the only thing wrong with that hand. Run it back. Opponent knows we have Dark Ritual, Entomb, and Animate Dead. Oh, we just need a discard outlet. We can do better. Oh, we just need a reanimation spell. I mean, Entomb can go get... I took out Dread Return. Entomb can go get Burial Rites. Going to 5. Okay. This actually seems pretty good versus most of what our opponent can do. I'm going to put back 2 lands and hope that I don't get punished for doing so. Play a Swamp, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Forest and a Tree Speaker. We're going to Entomb Iona, just in case we draw Exhume or Animate Dead. We draw a Swamp, play Swamp, pass the turn. They're going to level up Tree Speaker, which means Liliana can't actually kill it. But if they play a bunch of dorks this turn, we'll Toxic Deluge to take them all out. Yeah, definitely Deluge time, I think. Actually, is it? Opponent's going to have 5 mana if they play a land. Liliana, in theory, gets a lot worse after this turn, but Alright. We'll pay 2 life. Toxic Deluge. Pass the turn. Like, now if they're forced to play Dorks, Liliana's amazing. They suspend Search for Tomorrow, and then they Farseek. Okay. We untap and draw Swamp. Play Lily. Uptick. Yeah, play a Swamp. Pass the turn. Opponent Search for Tomorrow, ticking down. They play a Forest. They play Garrick. They make a Beast. They play an Elf. We untap and draw another Swamp. Uptick to kill the Elf. Play Pack Rat. Play a Swamp. Pass the turn. If they attack Lily with no obvious trick, we probably just let her take the damage this turn. Okay. Lily takes 3. They make another Beast and play a land. We untap and draw Living Death. So we give our opponent back 3 random Dorks. And we get back Iona on green. I could actually uptick to kill Pack Rat and then Living Death. The only way that goes wrong is if my opponent has a counterspell, which they might. I could also just attack Garrick. Yeah, let's do that. Go to combat, attack Garrick. And they just block with the Beast. Living Death. I think it's very unlikely they have a counterspell because we haven't seen anything from them that would indicate they're actually playing any. They're probably playing opposition. Oh no. Iona name's green. Alright, sick. Uptick, kill Tree Speaker. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps, they draw. Garrick makes a Beast. They play Ancient Tomb. They add green. They have nothing they can do with it. We untap and draw Rankle. Uptick, shoot Lotus Cobra. Play Rankle. Go to combat. Attack our opponent for 3. We will force them to discard. They discard Devoted Druid. And we've got this one in the bag, I think. Unless they've got Upheaval. That would be a problem. They play Worn Power Stone. So we untap. I think we've got them, though, because we just make them sack. We can get rid of Pack Rat. We draw Buried Alive. So discard Buried Alive. Uptick Lily, kill their Elf. Go to combat. Hit them for 10. Force them to sacrifice. Sacrifice the token. There's some notion that maybe I should have sacrificed the original Pack Rat in case I wanted to reanimate it or buy it back with Lily or something, but they're just dead next turn anyway. I think Upheaval is like the only thing that potentially saves them. Or like Cyclonic Rift, but they didn't have it. And we get the match. See you guys in round 2. Alright, round 2, we're on the draw, and we almost have the combo. I'm going to keep this hand, because Dark Ritual into Living Death or Unburial Rites could be extremely good. Hopefully our particular Reanimator targets are good against whatever our opponent is playing. Okay, opponent plays a Swamp, passes. We draw Toxic Deluge, we play a Swamp, and we'll pass. They play a Taiga into a Cold Steel Heart on blue. So there are a whole bunch of different colors, which means Iona is probably not that good. Next turn will be at 4 mana. So I think what we're going to do is Entomb Terastodon. We draw Battle Ball, play a Swamp, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play Chromatic Lantern and play Land Tax. Alright. We draw Coalition Relic, so play a Swamp. And I guess we just Dark Ritual out on Burial Rites. On Burial Rites, Terastodon will hit Land Tax, Chromatic Lantern, and Taiga. Pass the turn. They play a Plains. They pass. We draw Phyrexian Arena. So let's cast Toxic Deluge, paying 3 life. Go to combat. Game's over. So good! Dark Ritual, so good. So versus 5-color Shenanigans. Ancient Grudge would be good, but we don't really have the tools to play Ancient Grudge. I don't know if Languish or other black spells are going to be any good, so we'll just run it back like this. Okay, game 2, we have Dark Ritual, we have Living Death, we have Prowlers, we have Discard Outlets, we have Acceleration, we have a Reanimation spell, but we have no thing to reanimate, so I think I'm going to mulligan. Reanimation spell, Threat, no Discard Outlet, we're going to mulligan. Alright, I can get behind this. We'll keep. We'll put back Pack Rat and Buried Alive. We have Entomb Animate Dead. Opponent leads on Plains Land Tax. We draw a Battle Ball. Play a Swamp. Pass the turn. I could see my opponent just passing here. They play a Swamp. They play Grim Monolith. Let's go ahead and Entomb. We'll get Terastodon again. Grim Monolith resolves. Then they play Chromatic Lantern. We untap and draw Inquisition. Animate Dead on Terastodon. Okay. So Grim Monolith, they've already used. They won't be able to pay to untap it. So we'll hit Land Tax, Chromatic Lantern, and Plains. This way they can't, like, Swords Pass the turn. And then we can Inquisition and hymn them if we draw land. We draw Living Death. Inquisition. Let's see what's going on over here. We bought ourselves time. Opponent has Go for the Throat, which we should probably take. Game's over. Reanimator's so strong. I'll see you guys around 3. Alright, round 3, and we are on the play. We have Packrat, Hymn to Turok, Exhume, and we have Iona Emrakul I'm going to be keeping. If I don't draw a third land next turn, I'll probably start with him, just to maybe try and disrupt what my opponent's doing as much as possible. I guess it sort of depends on what they're playing, right? So opponent plays Overgrown Tomb tapped. We draw Toxic Deluge. Yeah, I'll go the Hymn to Turok plan. They discard Swamp and Ravenous Chupacabra. No, Exhume no longer works. Alright, we untap. We draw Dark Ritual. Play Packrat. Opponent cracks Misty Rainforest. I have no way to get rid of that Ravenous Chupacabra. That is an issue. My opponent just failed to find on Misty? Oh, it only gets Overgrown Tomb for them. They Abrupt Decay Packrat. Okay, we draw Coalition Relic. Dark Ritual. Play Coalition Relic. And I could Exhume? It's just so bad. We'll pass. Opponent plays Hollowed Fountain tapped. Night's Whisper. They draw some cards. Charge up Coalition Relic. We untap. We draw Living Death. And black mana. Alright, we got a pass. So probably what's going to have to end up happening is I'll have to Exhume, or I'll need to draw a different discard outlet and Animate Dead. I should not be F6'd because I need to charge up Coalition Relic. But it plays Karn. I think I give them Gideon. That still might end up killing me. Charge counter on Coalition Relic. We untap and draw Buried Alive. Add black mana. Cast Buried Alive. We get Terastodon, Battlesphere, Magister of Worth. Pass the turn. I mean, I could just overwhelm them by Living Death. Oh, I don't want a Living Death now because I played Magister of Worth. Actually, no, that would be fine. So opponent minus to put down Oracle of Moldiah. We play Polluted Delta and Scrub Land from hand. Charge up Coalition Relic. We untap. We draw Dismember. I need one more black mana. So I think what we do here is Exhume. Opponent cracks Polluted Delta. They get a Godless Shrine. We get Terastodon. We're going to be taking a big hit next turn. Blow up all of their white mana, I guess. Or 2 of their white mana and Karn. They kill Ravenous Chupacabra. Or they used Ravenous Chupacabra to kill Terastodon. Blow up their stuff. Pass the turn. So we're kind of hoping to Living Death. But it plays Gideon. They might just Anthem. They make a Knight. They play a Plains. They go to combat. They attack for a lot. We take it. I shouldn't have got that Magister of Worth, though. That was a huge problem. Like, even Rankle would have been way better. Okay, we drew a Swamp, which is good. Coalition Relic will add black. Play a Swamp. Add black. Living Death. So, blow up Gideon. Godless Shrine. Well, let's take them off green, I guess. Blow up a bunch of their stuff. Make a bunch of 1/1s. And then we vote Condemnation. This was effectively 5 mana, board wipe you, blow up 3. Because if I say Grace, my opponent gets, actually, they get Oracle of Moldiah and Ravenous Chupacabra, so they could blow up our biggest threat. But we get nothing. And they have 3 3/3s, and we could Toxic Deluge. Okay. I actually think voting Grace and letting my opponent pick is better. Okay. They chose Condemnation. Pass the turn. Opponent plays Liliana of the Veil. We lose Magister. Come on, Reanimation spell. We draw a Swamp, which is not a Reanimation spell. Play the Swamp. Pass the turn. Although, if they uptick and we discard Emrakul, that'd be pretty funny. We have some kill spells, so we've got some time. Opponent plays a Flicker Wisp. They flicker Coalition Relic. Okay. They make us discard. So we'll discard Emrakul. They discard Uro, which they are a long way off of utilizing. We get back Coalition Relic, Dismember, charge Coalition Relic, untap. We draw Rankle, add black mana, play Rankle, go to combat, kill Lily. Okay. Opponent's turn. They untap and draw. They play a land. Okay, opponent passes. Forgot to charge Relic. We draw a Swamp. Alright, go to combat. Attack. Opponent has removal. Wretched Confluence. Target player draws a card and loses a life. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. And pick up a creature. Oh, okay, they did double -2/-2 and they get back Flicker Wisp. That makes sense. Play a Swamp. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Inquisition, they take Toxic Deluge. Okay, we really supremely need to draw another reanimation spell. We have a lot of them. Opponent Flicker Wisps, Coalition Relic again. Okay, we get back Coalition Relic. Charge it up. Untap. We draw Animate Dead. Okay. So, add white. Now we either reanimate Battle Ball or Emmercool. I could reanimate Magister of Worth and say Condemnation to just blow up my opponent's creature. I think we get Emmercool. I don't think my opponent can race an Emmercool. They've already used Liliana the Veil, so they probably don't have any other edicts. There's not that many. Yeah, we'll get Emmercool. Alright, pass the turn. Opponent goes to combat and passes. Really would like a Collective Brutality or a reanimation spell here. Swamp is not it. Go to combat. Attack for 12. They go to 4. And they have to either kill us this turn or have a Wrath. A Wrath is not impossible. Blood Chief's Thirst. It's a sorcery? Oh, you're kidding. Okay, well, we need a reanimation spell. We need one in a hurry. If we get a reanimation spell, we can actually kill them with Rankle. We draw Phyrexian Arena. Phyrexian Arena just kills us. Add whatever. Play a Swamp. Alright, pass the turn. We can tie the game with Rankle now. Opponent hits us for 3, we go to 1. Yeah, that him ended up really screwing us. Rotting Regisar. Okay. So we're going to need to reanimate Magister of Worth. We untap. Draw Swamp. Okay. Next game. Opponent is playing like 4-color control. I don't really have a sideboard here, so we'll just run it back. Opponent's primary color seems to be black, so I mean, if we were to reanimate Iona, we would name black. They do have sorcery speed removal, so they can kill Emmercool. Alright, we're on the play. We have Packrat, Entomb, Dark Ritual, and Rankle. We'll keep. This is not too bad. We can actually Entomb to go get Unburial Rites with this hand. So start with Swamp, pass the turn. Opponent plays a Plains. Relic? You can't just Relic me. What a jerk. Alright, we untap. We draw another Swamp. Play the Swamp, and I think we are going to... I could Dark Ritual Rankle and just start forcing them to discard. Alternatively, I can play Packrat. I think Dark Ritual Rankle is better. Play Rankle. Opponent makes us exile Dark Ritual. Land Rankle, go to combat. Attack them for 3. We'll say each player discards a card. Discard Emmercool. We need the rest of this hand. Just a random relic is good as sideboard. It really is. Opponent plays a Swamp. Makes us exile Emmercool. Passes. We untap and draw Liliana. Play Plains. Go to combat. Attack for 3. We will force each player to discard. And we're going to discard Entomb. It's powerful, but it's basically powerless in front of this relic. Opponent discards Toski. Play Liliana. Uptick her to 4. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a Marsh Flats. They make us exile Entomb. They crack Marsh Flats. They get a Scrubland. And they play Brightland. We draw Living Death. So I think what we do is we're not going to be playing this Living Death. We're going to play Packrat. We're going to make each player sack and discard. So opponent has to discard. And they lose Brightling. We lose Packrat. They discard Voice of Resurgence. Uptick Lily to 5. If we can get her to ult, she will win the game. Just not immediately. Opponent plays Flicker Wisp. They're going to flicker Lily to reset her counters. But that's a delay tactic. Exile Living Death. We untap. We draw Collective Brutality. Uptick to kill Flicker Wisp. Let's duress our opponent. Chupacabra and Kalitas go to combat, attack our opponent, force them to discard. If they draw a land and they can play either one of those, it's bad for us. Each player discards a card. They probably discard Kalitas because they need a way to answer Rankle. Alright, we pass. They found a land. They can kill Rankle and they're at 7. Exile Collective Brutality. Okay, Rankle down. We untap. We draw a swamp. Play a swamp. I could just buy back Rankle. Yeah, I'm gonna. Play Rankle. We lose Liliana this way, but my opponent basically has to have another removal spell for Rankle. Actually, I should have had both players... No, never mind. I was gonna say, I could have made both players sack, but then I just lose everything to Relic. When it goes to combat, kills Lily. Exile Lily. Come on! Oh, they're so close to dead! Rankle got him to 4, and 1 hit and they would have died. Toxic Deluge, we're gonna cast because otherwise we're just out. Like, they just uptick Lily and we lose the card anyway. Kill Ravenous Chupacabra, pass the turn. But we're out our low mana, like, win conditions. Like, we need to be top decking lands and then, like, hard casting Magister of Worth or Battle Ball. Opponent plays a Blooming Marsh, upticks Lily. They're gonna leave Relic uncracked. Exile Deluge. We untap. We draw Terastodon, pass the turn. Oh, we were so close, too. They play a land. They force us to ditch Terastodon. They make us exile Una's Prowler. And now they have an active Lily. Alright. We cast Exhume. Yeah, they gotta crack Relic here. There's no choice. Neither of us get any creatures. So now if we top deck a fat creature, and then opponent forces us to discard it, and then we draw a reanimation spell we can actually cast. Gaunty? Opponent gets a card. They did not uptick Liliana, they want their other card in it. It's probably like an Abrupt Decay. Play a land. Pass the turn. God, Relic was just too good. Our opponent actually took it, because they're good at this game. Gideon? No, we were so close. We just needed the one more Rankle hit. Maybe it was safer to just keep upticking on Chups. Pass. If opponent animates Gideon, we dismember him, because I think he would be small enough. Yeah. They play a land. If they uptick Lily first, we just dismember whatever's on board. Play Murderous Rider. They're going to make us discard. Kill Gaunty. Now I bet our opponent animates Gideon and attacks us for 7. Yeah. Because that's lethal next turn. Oh, what a disappointing end. We got a 9. We draw. Swamp. Opponent has exactly lethal. We were so close to the trophy, too. At least we get our 100 play points back. Alright, well, if you enjoyed that kind of content and you want to see more of it, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined, and remember you can follow me on Twitch. Same username over there as you find me on here. I stream Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, though the last few have been earlier than that. And I hope to see you guys then, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. You're all wonderful human beings. Thanks for watching. Bye! Hey, just wanted to give a shout out to my patrons for the month of May. If you want to support my channel directly and have your name show up in this list, there's a link to my Patreon in the description down below. Thank you all.